Blue square, we're good. All right, 39. An increase in which of the following would be most likely to increase long-run growth? Okay, remember we're trying to make new GDP, so we had to have something that is going to show us low interest rates, something like that. So I go through these pension payments. Those are something that go to people who are retiring. That is income. That would make aggregate demand go up. Unemployment is a transfer payment. That's like Social Security, stuff like that. Subsidies to businesses for capital goods. Remember, capital goods are what we use to make consumer goods. Okay? Tariffs on capital goods, nope. Tariffs on oil, nope. So best answer is C. Okay? Number 40. A commercial bank's ability to create money depends on which of the following. So remember, money creation, it has other terms, doesn't it? Fractional reserve banking is one. It's where they're keeping a fraction of reserves, money creation, multiple deposit expansion, has all those things. So when you see create money, that's how they do it. They take $1,000 and turn it into $10,000. So their ability to create money depends on which of the following. Existence of a central bank, yes, that's true, but that's not the answer. Okay, it's kind of true, but it's not all of it. A fractional reserve system, because any country can have a central bank, but that doesn't mean they have a system in place, do they? They don't have the multiple deposit Ponzi scheme like we have. Okay, so fractional reserve system or multiple deposit expansion. Remember, that's our T-charts. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe that's better. Okay, then I'll check my others just in case. I think it's B, gold or silver reserves. We don't do that. That wouldn't even help create money. A large national debt, we definitely have that, but that doesn't create money. Okay, existence of both checkings and savings. Those would help. Those are demand deposits, but that doesn't mean we're going to multiple deposit expand it. So that's kind of a tricky question if you don't know exactly what fractional reserve means. Okay, because we do have all those things. All right, 41, Consumer Price Index. CPI is designed to measure changes. Okay, remember Consumer Price Index is when we did those 3 days of CPI, GDP, unemployment. Okay, so what is it actually trying to measure? Think to yourself, price index is price level or inflation. Okay, so I look through these spending patterns of consumers only, and it says urban, so that doesn't help. It's a market basket of 88,000 goods and services that started in 1983. Okay, so spending patterns of all consumers. No, that's not entirely true. Okay, because it also includes businesses and services and things like that. Wholesale price of goods, no, that's the supply side. Prices of all goods and services produced in the economy, no, that's our GDP. Cost of a select market basket of goods and services. Okay, so all consumers would be too many products. We have way too many things, don't we? So it has to be a select market basket. That way they can track the price of beef, the price of bread, if we have to see the same items over and over again. Okay, so that's why E is the best answer. This section of the test, they're starting to get towards the end, and they're starting to give you things that have multiple answers. Okay? Now, when you get to this section, your brain's probably tired, and these can be tricky, because all of those were acceptable answers, weren't they? But you have to know these little pieces and parts. Okay? All right, so now a barter economy is different than a money economy, and that a barter economy does what? Okay, encourages specialization and division of labor. Yeah, kind of, but that's not what it's really asking about it encouraging. Okay, involves higher costs for each transaction. Remember a barter economy. If you want to trade a car for a haircut, that doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, wouldn't you have to take off a piece of the car and sell it? Okay, so in a money economy, you sell the whole car and then take the money, and you can use money's characteristics of being divisible. You can divide part of the car and go get a haircut. Okay, so that's different, isn't it? Wouldn't that cost you more to make a trade if you can't divide your product? Yeah. So that's why a barter economy didn't work. You had to have both sides being equal to make a true supply and demand transaction. Okay, so B is the technical definition of that, because of higher cost. And then you can look at the other ones. Eliminates the need for double coincidence of wants. That's what you have to have in a barter economy, is a coincidence of wants. You want a haircut, I need a car. Well, they have to be equal to you each. They have to be equal to each party to make that happen. Okay? Has only a few assets that serve. That's not true, because in a barter economy, everyone trades exactly what they make. and promotes market exchanges. Not sure either. People go and barter for what they need. All right, so B is the best economic answer. All right. Okay, down to 43 now. In the short run, which of the following would occur to bond prices and interest rates if a central bank, remember central bank is a Federal Reserve Bank, the Fed, any kind of national authority on the bank, okay? So if the central bank buys bonds through the open markets, so they're buying bonds to make big bucks, and that's one of our expansion areas, isn't it? So we're buying bonds to make big bucks. Big bucks means the money supply is larger. Money supply goes up, interest rates fall, investment goes up, aggregate demand goes up. So now, what do interest rates do? They decrease, don't they? So I know that for sure. What can I get rid of? I can get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. Now you're left to B and E. Okay? Now, bond price and interest are inversely related, so the answer is C. So if you know something about money supply going up and interest rates going down, cover up that column, eliminate, and that question goes a lot quicker, doesn't it? Okay? All right. And then another MPS question. Suppose an economy with lump sum taxes and no international trade, autonomous investment spending increases by $2 million. If the MPC is 0.75 and GDP will change by how much? Okay. This is distracting. Don't need that, don't need that. Investment is this, isn't it? So you have an investment multiplier on your graph exam, don't you? As one of your formulas. So my investment multiplier is 1 over MPS or 1 over 1 minus MPC. So the government's job when they do fiscal policy, if they want to know how much, if the government does spending or interest rates drop and you've known over time that a 0.5% interest drop makes this much more borrowing in the system. If you know those things, and you know how much people will spend. This is saying every time someone gets a paycheck, 1 is disposable income. If your MPC is 0.75, then you spend 3/4 of your paycheck, don't you? Then your MPS, you save 25%. So if you get direct deposit and you direct deposit 25% into your savings and 25% into your checking, then you go spend 75% of your check, don't you? So now we know if investment spending increases by $2 million and your MPC is 0.75, then 75% of that $2 million is going to get spent, isn't it? And 25% will get saved. So I take my formula. Now, how much is the multiplier going to be? So 1 over 1 minus MPC or 1 over MPS is 1 over 0.25, or we have a multiplier of 4. So we have a multiplier of 4, and how much spending was there? 2 million. So what's 2 times 4? 8. Very good math. So answer D. Once you know this stuff, it's not that bad on some things, right? Okay, so that's our multiplier question.